Alright. Judas Priest, Invincible Shield. Let's talk about it. First song, Panic Attack. I sort of find it's got like Turbo Lover meets the speed and the veracity of like Painkiller. And then I've got my record here today to show some cool stuff that connects up that I didn't realise the other day. So in here, we've got some artworks like Panic Attack up here, and then the artwork is a guy having a panic attack, or even the whole society having a panic attack. So that one explains that one. And then here we've got the serpent and the king. And we've got the serpent and the king, see? So I loved that when I opened it up and I had a good look at it. And then we've got Invincible Shield. So the shield. And then we've got Devil in Disguise. Big devil. And then Gates of Hell. And we've got the demon coming down the gates of hell. So the artwork connects up with the music, great. All the lyrics and that. But yeah, so I find Panic Attack very, very like the cover. Like the sound of the song, the intro, like matches the art of the cover so perfectly. It's like got a bit of a cyberpunk vibe, very synthy, but also very fast and ferocious once it gets into the song. And then moving on to Serpent and the King. Very Screaming for Vengeance kind of vibes, I find. You know, the yellow album with the big falcon on the front doing the dive bomb. And so, yeah, when I listen to the Serpent and the King, very ferocious, very much reminds me of like Screaming for Vengeance. Songs like The Hellion and Electric Eye. And then moving on, Invincible Shield. It's got a bit of a vibe of its own, still presented in a very Judas Priest sort of way, but also very Iron Maiden-esque. It's got some all of that sort of same sort of guitar play that I find Iron Maiden doing. So there's times in the song where I was like, yeah, this is very Maiden. So yeah, Invincible Shield. It's very much got a sound of its own though. It does remind me of other Judas Priest songs, but it's got some Maiden vibes there too. So yeah, Devil in Disguise, Invincible Shield, and Gates of Hell on side B. And like I said, Invincible Shield, very Iron Maiden-esque kind of vibes. But then moving on to Devil in Disguise, I find it's got some really 70s down, like sort of scales. So I kind of feel like I get a bit of a stained glass sort of feel from that one. Very Stained Glass, which is one of my favourite albums. But on that 70s side of Judas Priest, but still with a very heavy element and that modern sound brought into it. There's only moments where it sounds 70s. Other than that, it's still a very heavy modern song. And then moving on to Gates of Hell. Gates of Hell, that one there. Yep, on side B is very much point of entry sort of vibes. I get point of entry, sort of highway rock. If it would have fit anywhere, it would have fit on point of entry. It sounds like something from point of entry done now. So Gates of Hell. So now we're going to move over to side C. Okay, so moving over to side C, let's check out these artworks again, eh? So we've got Crown of Horns. I didn't find as many similarities with the lyrics as I did with the other sleeve, but still, so Crown of Horns, you know, your metalhead up there. Crown of Horns, I don't really see that one matching, but he is looking out across the industrial cityscape, so Crown of Horns. I did find Trial by Fire. See, the fire's coming up, and he's Trial by Fire. And then As God As My Witness, so the angel, another play on the devils from the other side, the other side A and side B. Here's some similarities to the lyrics. So this one, Escape from Reality. And when you read the lyrics and it's talking about hallucinations from a psychedelic realm, well, that picture right there, that's that Godhead again. That's that Godhead. And yeah, he looks great. But goes with the lyrics, that one. And then once again, going with the lyrics, and I loved this one last video, the Gods of Thunder. The whole song is a bikey song, so that artwork goes great with that. And there is another one here, Giants in the Sky, which is represented by really tall power lines. So, but you can see the tiny person looking up at these things, and maybe that's their music was played across these airways or something. But anyway, so that's how some of the artworks relate. But now we will, oh, and to show you again, I'm sure you just want to see this. There's that hot pink vinyl. Yeah, I love seeing that every time I put it on. And it's not a solid pink either. It's a translucent pink. See, you can see my hand through it. It's great. I love it. It's got that sort of that comic book design. Yeah. So yeah. Alright, and so moving on to the album review for side C, Crown of Horns. The song Crown of Horns. I find nothing really to compare it to that I've ever heard by Priest or any other band. Sort of stands on its own. One of my favourites of the whole album, actually, up there with Panic Attack. So, yeah, Crown of Horns. It's a ballad. It's definitely a ballad, but it's a power ballad. Very heavy, very emotional. The guitar playing from Tipton and Faulkner is just flawless. So Crown of Horns, definitely a favourite. Moving on to As God As My Witness. Very hell-bent for leather. Oh, it's ferocious, that song, As God As My Witness. Very hell-bent for leather. And I also find it really has Ram It Down vibes from 88. Ram It Down, Hard As Iron, songs like that. But for the modern era. So very Ram It Down kind of vibes, and also yeah, Hellbent for Leather. Trial by Fire, once again, another one that I find has some Maiden-esque vibes, very Iron Maiden again. And I love that 6/8 timing, or 6/4, 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. So that swing, that waltz, it's got that to it, which really sets it apart from other songs on the album. But once again, that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 waltzy vibe also reminds me of Maiden. Iron Maiden have many songs that have that 6/8 sort of vibe to it as well. So yeah, and then we're going to move on to side D now. So moving on to side D. Let's get that artwork out one more time. That just looks great. Escape from Reality. Let that picture stick in your head if you ever listen to this song again. This song, seems to just straight up pay homage to Sabbath and Ozzy. There are parts where Halford literally ends up sounding like Ozzy Osbourne. He does sing most of the songs sounding like Rob Halford, but it's like a Rob Halford that's trying to be in Sabbath. It's sort of Rob Halford, but off kilter. But he has fronted Sabbath for Ozzy once in the past, so I think he knows very well how to do that. Escape from Reality, very, very Ozzy Osbourne, very Black Sabbath. Even the lyrics and the way they're sung is very how Ozzy would do it. I think Ozzy would hear this song from Priest and Rob and be like, hell yeah. Yeah. And then moving on to Sons of Thunder. Let's get the artwork out for that one as well and see that again. Very Mad Max-esque. Very Rob Halford on the big Harley. Sons of Thunder. It straight up sounds like a bikey song. It's just a song about riding your bike with your gang. I find maybe it's even got a little bit of vibes from that Ripper Owens era. Like as in like Tipton and Faulkner have touched on that like Demolition, like Jugulator era. It's got those vibes. I think that this song, Sons of Thunder, would actually be sung brilliantly by Ripper Owens. So, very Ripper Owens-esque, very sort of 2000s Priest, a Priest that not even priests talk about very much anymore. As I've noticed, none of those albums are available on any streaming services with Ripper Owens on them. I think that Priest should make them available because it's a very important part of the history of Judas Priest. But anyway, Sons of Thunder, very much a bikey song. It's awesome though. Rob sings it sick. He sings it awesome. And then we're gonna get right to the last song of the album now, which is a super duper tribute song to all the fallen metal warriors. We're talking about Lemmy, we're talking about Dio, we're talking about Peter Steele, Paul Gray. Write in the comments if anyone can think of all the rest of them, but all our fallen heroes. The song is called Giants in the Sky. I find it's got very British Steel kind of vibes, but it's also got like a very like Metallica Reload Black Album, like, and I'm like, oh, that's Metallica-esque. So, but the lyrics are fantastic. They pay homage to the heroes, the fallen heroes. Like some of the words here, like the mighty have fallen, the memories fading, the legend still lives on. The sound of giants, the echoes remaining, will never be forgot. Homage to the legends, till the bitter end, leaving such a legacy, my friend. Giants in the sky, you won't ever die. Yeah, see, so awesome. So that's awesome that Rob Halford wrote some lyrics like that. That's a great song. And so that is actually all of the songs on these. But I do want to quickly touch on some of the songs from the deluxe version that I listened to on Apple Music, because I mentioned in one of the other videos this having rock-a-roller vibes. Now, that song is a bonus song that I was talking about, and it is not on here. But there is 3 bonus songs, so we'll talk about that. So to wrap it up, the 3 bonus songs are Fight of Your Life, Vicious Cycle, and The Lodger. Now, they are not on my Hot Pink vinyl. There's 11 songs on this. But there is not on the Apple Music version. There's like 14. I just assumed, I didn't realise, deluxe version. So I might have to try and track down the CD of that deluxe version so I can have those bonus songs. We've all got them on Apple Music, but I like to give these guys my hard-earned money for stuff like this, for making amazing music that they should be paid more for. So we've got Fight of Your Life is very rock and roller. It's got like very... It's like really early 70s. Like, imagine Halford still in the silk gown, you know, and the long hair. Very rock and roller vibes, but also presented for a new generation. Like, it's very modern. It's still got that modern recording technology sound, that big mix. The choruses still get really heavy and epic, but in those verses, and there's little scales that are just 70s-esque. Judas Priest. So that was the one I was talking about in the other video. Fight of Your Life, rock and roller. That was the one that had the rock and roller vibes. But it's a great song. And then we move on to Vicious Cycle, which is the second bonus song. That has just got straight up Rob Halford's solo vibes. Also got a bit of a fight vibe to it. If you remember Rob Halford's side project Fight. So yeah, sort of got that 90s groove metal feel to it. And yeah, finally moving on to the final bonus song, The Lodger. All I can say about it is it's my least favourite. That's how it makes me feel when I listen to it. I'm just like, And so I find it sort of has that Notre Dame feel to it. It's very theatrical. It's very concept. It's got an interesting story. If you listen to the lyrics, it sort of has a story about murder and vengeance and a lodger where something wrong has happened to him and he loses somebody and he gets his vengeance, and one of the lyrics is "Vengeance is mine." It's an interesting song. I do like it, but when it comes on, I'm like, And what it does is Giants in the Sky has this big epic finale feel to the song. The last bit of the song of Giants in the Sky is just the band hitting every note, hitting their instruments as hard as they can, and just that dun, you know, and it finishes the album. And then more songs keep coming, so it confused me when I was listening to the Apple Music version, and that's where I heard Fight of Your Life, and I got those rock and roller vibes, and then I talked about it being on here, but it's not. But The Lodger, yeah, very theatrical, very reminds me of Notre Dame, and got an interesting story. It's catchy, but what it does is where Giants in the Sky creates like a final sound for the album and a final finale and a finish, The Lodger, that now becomes the last song of the album if you're listening to the deluxe version, and it ends very suddenly. Vengeance is mine. And you're just like, oh. Okay, that's a very sudden end to the album. And so once I heard on here Giants in the Sky was the last song, I'm like, that's the big finale. It was confusing actually hearing a song that had a big finale on the deluxe version, and then 3 more songs sort of come at you. And so you're like, oh, that was a nice finale, but we've got more songs. And so you don't really think about it. But then you get a song like The Lodger ending the album, and you're just like, oh, well, that sucked. So, yeah. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to give you all one more look of the album there. And sort of turn it over. Let's get those sheets out again. And why not? Let's get the other one out. Let's quickly get the other one out too. Oh, I love that one. That one just sticks in my head every time. And let's see that pink vinyl one more time, eh? I love it. Yeah. See my hand through it? It's see-through. Okay, cool. I love this one here. I just love how that looks. So it's a bit comic bookish. It's sick. I love it. Oh, awesome, guys. Thanks for coming back and hearing my thoughts on the album. Look, I've listened to it many times. I listen to it every day, like 5 times a day, okay? So I know what I'm talking about. But if you just want to see more metal reviews and more metal unboxings and more guitar videos, yeah, just let me know in the comments section. Yeah, I'm not even going to say hit like and subscribe because at this point, I'm just doing this as a passion project. This is just fun for me. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. Cheers. I also just wanted to say that I believe it is one of, or the best Judas Priest album I've ever heard. Up there with Painkiller and Screaming for Vengeance and British Steel. It's up there with the greats. So I think, does it top Firepower? Yep. Because every song I listen to, I'm just like, yes. And the anticipation just keeps building. And I'm like, yeah, more bangers. Firepower was much of the same, but it gets back to the old school. This has got, in the words of Death Clock, zazz. It's got plenty of zazz. And I think it's just big sounding, it's modern sounding, it's relevant. The lyrics sung on Panic Attack are super relevant. The subjects touched on are relevant in this day and age. And so I think it's up there with Painkiller. It's up there with Firepower. It's up there with Redeemer of Souls. It is right up there, maybe right at the top. So there was ever an album to go out on, whoa, but please, let's not jinx that. Hope there's plenty more Priest albums to come, because if this is any example, I get goosebumps talking about this album. So yeah, top album.